The German foreign minister today said Britain should clarify the details on the Salisbury poison attack with Russia directly. Heiko Maas said all the evidence points to Moscow being behind the attack, which left former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia fighting for their lives. But he also said the UK should clarify the details of the evidence they have bilaterally with the Kremlin. His comments can be seen as a hint that Britain will get only lukewarm support from the Germans. But they come just days after German Chancellor Angela Merkel gave her full backing to Britain's position after holding talks with Theresa May. According to the EU Observer, Mr. Maas said that, while Germany is firmly on the side of Great Britain and it must continue a dialogue with Russia ought to continue. He said, "We assume that Russia will remain a difficult partner. Russia is needed when it comes to solving major international conflicts. That is why we want to stay in dialogue, but we also expect constructive contributions from Russia," he added. But while the words will be greeted by some as a sign Berlin is being guarded in the support it offers the UK, Mrs. Merkel has been far more forthright. She joined Donald Trump, Emmanuel Macron and Theresa May in signing a joint statement blaming Russia for the attack. The four leaders agreed there was no plausible alternative explanation than that Russia was to blame for the attack. The leaders described the poisoning as the first offensive use of a nerve agent in Europe since the Second World War and warned that Russia's actions threaten the security of us all. Mr. Maas's comments came as Boris Johnson vowed to crack down on corrupt Russian cash held in Britain today after talks with NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg on the response to Salisbury. The Foreign Secretary has been in Brussels for talks with EU foreign ministers and the Alliance Secretary General. As Britain continued to gain support for its furious reaction to the Salisbury attack, Theresa May reiterated her belief in Kremlin responsibility today as international weapons inspectors arrived at Porton Down to carry out independent tests. Russian President Vladimir Putin has continued to deny any involvement since winning a new 6-year term by a landslide in a disputed election yesterday. Following talks in Brussels with NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, Mr. Johnson welcomed the support of the alliance following the Salisbury incident. "We share the view that the poisoning of Sergei Skripal is not an isolated case, but the latest in a pattern for reckless behavior by the Russian state," he said. "We stand united in adversity, be it in response to the attack in Salisbury or a threat to any NATO ally." Mr. Johnson said there were actions that Britain could take with its allies, including going after the money that has been illicitly and corruptly obtained. He said, "That is one of the most important ways forward.We have a national crime agency, a national economic crime unit, that are looking into this kind of stuff right now, but you can only do it in concert with partners around the world." Mr. Stoltenberg said the use of a nerve agent represented an unacceptable breach of international norms and rules. Russia's response so far has demonstrated a clear disregard for international peace and security, he said. We continue to call on Russia to provide a complete disclosure of the Novichok program to the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. Russia will continue to seek to divide us, but NATO allies stand united, and we stand in solidarity with the UK.